Today we are going to talk about the Paris Agreement, International in Fighting Global Warming. I am Maxwell from Class 4C.
I'm Chanky Sam from Class 4A.
I'm Hong Yat Long from Class 4B.
I'm Alan from Class 4C.
Greenhouse gases are gases that absorb and emit radiant energy within the thermal infrared range, causing the greenhouse effect, which causes global warming as a result. There are two common greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane, and we are going to talk about these two gases today. For reasons that increase the concentration of greenhouse gases, there has been scientific debate on the cause of the ongoing surge in methane levels. Carbon dioxide pollution has always been the primary driver of human-caused climate change. Carbon dioxide concentrations are rising mostly because of the fossil fuels that people are burning for energy. Fossil fuels like coal and oil contain carbon that plants pull out of the atmosphere through photosynthesis over many millions of years. An estimated 36 billion tons of carbon dioxide were emitted into the atmosphere last year by human activity. Scientists estimate that fossil fuel production and uses contributes roughly 30% of the total methane emissions. These industrial sources of methane are relatively simple to pinpoint and control using current technology. For a method in reducing carbon dioxide and methane emissions, people can improve the detection and repair of leaks at oil and gas facilities. With the improvement of error detection, chances of leaking are largely reduced and the rate of emission can be lowered effectively.
For China, the energy structure of China is mainly based on fossil fuels. Fossil fuels accounted for 58% of China's primary energy mix in 2019 to 2020. The petroleum and other resources accounted for 20%, and the hydroelectricity accounted for 8%. Natural gas accounted for 8% also, 8% too, and the nuclear accounted for 2%. Other renewable energy accounted for 5%. And there are several associated environmental issues, such as air pollution. China's poor air quality is primarily attributed to the rapid economic expansion of the country experienced since 1979, which resulted in a drastic increase in coal-powered industrial production and electricity demand, as well as an exponential rise in private vehicles. Second, water pollution. While air pollution can be observed by the naked eye, underground water pollution in cities is not as visible, causing it to be visually forgotten and continue unabated. For decades, factories were able to discharge their wastewater into lakes and rivers across the country due to poor environmental regulations, weak enforcement, and the government's failure to crack down on polluting industries. There are also climate change. China observed a ground average temperature increase of 0.24 of Celsius degree per decade from 1951 to 2017, exceeding the global rates, causing extreme weather and droughts. Besides, there was an annual increase in concentrations of carbon dioxide from 1990 to 2016. The policies that China adopted to fight against these environmental issues are designed to advance and guide establishments of a global climate governance systems featuring equity, rationality, and women cooperation. For climate change mitigation, they address the industrial structures such as continuing the resolution of overcapacity, energetically developing the service industry, and supporting the development of strategic emerging industries. They also promote energy saving and improve energy efficiency by advancing the energy efficiency in constructions, energy conservation in transport, energy conservation in public institutions, and strengthening the implementation of key energy-saving transformation projects. For United States, the energy structure of United States mostly based on petroleum. It accounted for 34.7% of United States primary energy mix in 2019 to 2020. The natural gas accounted for 34%. Coal is accounted for 9.9%, and nuclear is accounted for 8.9%, and there are other renewable energy accounted for 12.5%. There are also several associated environmental issues. First, climate change. Climate change in the United States has led to the country warming by 1.4 Celsius degrees since 1970. Due to the climate change, the climate of the United States is shifting in ways that are widespread and vary between regions. From 2010 to 2019, the United States experienced its hottest decades on record. Second, mining. Mining of coal, metals, and industrial materials caused a number of environmental impacts. In the United States, issues like mountaintop removal and acid mine drainage have widespread impacts on all parts of the environment. Third, abandoned fossil fuel well. Once a well is abandoned, it can be a source of toxic emissions and pollution, contaminating groundwater and releases methane, causing often wells a significant contributor to national greenhouse gases emission. For the policies that U.S. adopted to fight against these environmental issues are designed to address and mitigate the effects of climate change. Climate change policy includes policy to mitigate and adapt climate change. They are reducing emissions, such as carbon pricing policies. Carbon pricing policy require companies to pay a price for each ton of carbon emission they release. It is comprehensive and percolates through the entire economy, providing an incentive for all these decision makers to look for ways to reduce emissions. There are also international agreements such as the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, which is a legally binding agreement which contributes to multinational climate change strategies and leverage reciprocal action by other countries so that overall global emissions are brought down.
And now I'm going to talk about the energy structure of Australia. Fossil fuels account for 93% of Australia's primary energy mix in 2019 to 2020. Oil accounts for 37%, coal accounts for 28%, and gas accounts for 27%. And the rest of 7% is renewable energy. There are a few associated environmental issues of Australia. First one, the air issues. The deforestation and fossil fuels emissions have lowered the air quality significantly in Australia. It causes serious health problems and threatens the natural environment. Second is the pollution. The intensive agriculture is affecting Australia's coasts and oceans, estuaries, and environments near the shore. Modeling predictions estimate that each year almost 90,000 tons of phosphorus and 141 tons of nitrogen is discharged to rivers. Too much phosphorus may cause increased growth of algae and large aquatic plants, which cause eutrophication, while excess nitrogen can produce pollutants such as ammonia and ozone. And the third one is the climate change. It causes high temperatures, more extreme droughts and floods and extreme weather, which is a result of the global warming. And Australia has had two policies adopted to fight against these environmental issues. These policies are designed to reduce emissions, increase energy productivity, and boost the uptake of renewable energy. First one is the Emission Reduction Fund. It purchased of 143 million tons of CO2-E in emissions reductions, replaced lights with more energy efficient light bulbs and used the gas from waste to create energy. And the second policy is to increase the energy productivity. It relies on the National Energy Productivity Plan, which aims to enhance energy productivity by 40% between 2015 and 2030. And the other policies and measures are increased uptake of renewable energy, reduce emissions of hydrofluorocarbons by 85% by 2036, and improve fuel quality standards and measures to increase the fuel efficiency of vehicles. And then I will talk about the energy structure of Japan. In Japan, fossil fuel account for 87% of Japan's energy fuel mix in 2019. Petroleum and other liquids account for 40%, while coal account for 26% and natural gas account for 21%. Then we have renewable energy which account for 6%, hydro 4%, and nuclear for 3%. And there are a few associated environmental issues in Japan. Firstly, the air pollution. Smoke and soot as well as dust from factories, hazardous air pollutants, and automobile exhaust gas both pollute the air and cause damage to citizens' respiratory systems. Second is the water pollution. Effluent discharged from factories and business and establishment into public water areas pollute the water, which damage the nation's health and the environment. Thirdly is the soil contamination. Since the water is polluted, the soil also contaminated by the polluted water, and coal failure is resulted. The Japan government have a few policy adopted to fight against these environmental issues too. Firstly, they try to achieve net zero greenhouse gases emissions by 2050. They promote innovation and technology as the agents of change in tackling the challenges of global warming, promote green finance to support the development of innovation and new technologies, and support greater international cooperation for business-led adoption of innovative green technologies. Second, reduce emissions of air pollutants. The government regulating smoke and soot, implementation of countermeasures for hazardous air pollutants, and stipulating allowable limit of automobile exhaust gas. Thirdly, the government carry out special measure law depends on regions. The special measures law regarding the reduction in the total amount of nitrogen oxides and particles from cars in specific regions.
Next, I will talk about China's target of carbon neutrality. China has targeted to reach peaking of greenhouse gas emissions in 2030 and carbon neutrality in 2060. To reach this target, China needs to control its carbon and other greenhouse gases emissions to net zero by reducing carbon emissions and offsetting gases that are released from burning fossil fuels by planting trees or capturing carbon and storing it underground. One of the ways is to use cleaner energy resources. By replacing fossil fuels with nuclear energy or reusable energy resources, such as solar energy, wind energy, hydroelectric power, carbon emissions can be reduced. To achieve the target, a massive growth in the usage of clean energy resources is needed, including a 16-fold increase in solar energy and a 9-fold increase in wind energy. In order to eliminate coal-fired power generation, a 6-fold increase in nuclear energy and a 2-fold increase in hydroelectricity would be needed. Second, China can reduce the usage of coal-fired plants. Coal-fired power accounts for almost 65% of the China's electricity generation and accounts for over 60% of carbon emissions in China nowadays. Therefore, it is essential to reduce the usage of such power plants. Since the lifetime of most coal-fired power plants are around 40 years, it is suggested that China should stop building new coal-fired power plants so that these power plants will be fully eliminated by 2060. CCS can also be used to capture and store the carbon emissions generated from coal, allowing China to continue using some coal-fired power in the long term. However, China may face some difficulties as well, as the main energy resources will switch from fossil fuels to reusable energy resources. The price of electricity will increase and put more economical stress onto citizens. 3.5 million workers in the coal mining and power industry may also become jobless, with decreasing demand of coal, oil, and natural gas. Although there are large CCS facilities running and more of them are in construction, the technology of CCS is still very expensive at the moment. Therefore, they cannot be applied in a large scale.
And here is the reference page, and this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.